Hey everybody, this is William Henry. This is my Vblog for June 21st, 2011. Getting ready this week for the Dreamland Festival, June 24th to June 26th here in Music City. Ann and Whitley Strieber, Jim Mars, Linda Bolton Howe, Marla Freese, all rolling into town for the 4th annual Dreamland Festival. The good news is this one is sold out. People have a need to gather right now, to seek each other out, to put our hearts and minds together because there's so much going on. You heard about Comet Elenin? These guys are saying it's a comet. It's not a comet. It's actually a spaceship full of reptilian aliens that are coming to Earth. Where do they make this stuff up? Another thing, August 2nd, the economy's going to collapse. Where are we supposed to go with this kind of information? What are we supposed to do? Well, I think what we're supposed to be doing is working on developing our higher self and that connection we have with our eternal being. And that's what my presentation is going to be about at the Dreamland Festival. For a number of years, I've been working on this concept of the human ability to morph into a light being. The way I see it, we're all in kind of a cocoon or a pupal phase when we're in the body. But what most of us don't realize is that our body is capable of transforming or transfiguring into a being of light. When we look at images such as Jesus in the Transfiguration, when he morphs into a light being and opens the gateway behind him, what we have to recognize is that this is actually a model for us. It's a target. It's what we're supposed to be doing with our time. I always like to refer people to that cartoon I saw once of the two caterpillars looking up at butterflies saying, "You'll never get me up in one of those things." And that's kind of our essential predicament. The reason why we don't transform into the light beings that we're meant to become is because we don't believe that we can do it. But yet, once we start to develop that belief by being shown models and by being shown methods by which we can do that, the process is actually very simple. In my presentation, I have a discussion of the secret book of John, which is one of the most secretive and most important of the Gnostic documents that was discovered in 1945 in Nag Hammadi, Egypt. In the text, John is having a bit of a spiritual crisis. He's been told by the rabbi at the temple that this guy, this Nazarene guy, is leading him astray. And what happens is John goes out in the desert and he's thinking, I really don't know about this whole eternal life business this guy was talking about. Who was Jesus? Where did he come from? And what's really going on with all of this? All of a sudden, the heavens tear open, and Jesus manifests or materializes before John as a luminous being of light. And he says to him, "I have come to teach you what is and what was and what will be, in order for you to understand the invisible world and the world that is visible and the immovable race of perfect humanity." There it is, the immovable race of perfect humanity. Who are these guys? Can we become a member of this immovable race? How do we do that? What do we have to remember about ourselves in order to free ourselves from the fear and the traps of earth life and become a member of this race? In my journey, I've been comparing the images of the perfected or resurrected Jesus, who's shown in this rainbow aura of energy, with the Tibetan images of the lamas who have achieved what they call the great perfection. In this belief, they tell us that the human body can be accelerated, its vibration can be accelerated until it manifests as five-colored rainbow light, or the rainbow body. And I believe that the Tibetan images of the great perfection and the images of the resurrected Jesus in the rainbow body are interchangeable. And in fact, this is the form that the eternal race of the perfected light human takes. The immovable ones are they who have achieved the next level of human manifestation or evolution, the rainbow body. The Apostle Paul once warned that we don't wrestle against powers of flesh and blood, that our real true enemy are spiritual powers. And what they tell us in the Gnostic tradition is that it's only by putting on the perfect light or clothing ourselves in the perfect light that we can achieve ultimate power and ultimate protection from these powers. So while a lot of folks are really interested in what political forces are doing what to whom on the planet right now, I'm not as much concerned about that. What I'm looking for is, how do we put on this perfect power, this perfect light garment that will not only assist us in our spiritual evolution, but ultimately will provide the greatest source of protection and prosperity during our earthly journey. What motivates me right now is the thought of how many people need this kind of information right now. There are millions of people out there that are experiencing real pain, real challenges, real frustration, that need real information about themselves and the incredible power, the incomprehensible power that is within us. And once we tap that power, we become part of the immovable ones, the eternal race of the perfect light human. The Buddha said, "You always think you have more time." And to me, there's no time left for anything but developing and connecting with this incomprehensible power within us, because if we can do that, we can push back on the powers that be that seek to imprison us and to take away our power. And we can tap into that higher consciousness that will transform our planet in the blink of an eye. And remember, as an anonymous writer once said, you have to give up the way it is in order to have it the way you want it. So let's give up the way it is now, and let's make our world the way we really want it to be. Thank you for watching.